everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Bedazzled, the 2000 comedy that I have always had a place in my heart for, that I think is very, very funny. For those of you who haven't seen it, it focuses on a character played by Brendan Fraser. He's this very nerdish, nebbish character that everybody looks down on as being overtly goofy, and nobody takes seriously, from his workplace friends to the woman that he has a huge crush on, and he's living his life, but he's very lonely, and nobody really wants to do anything with him. And then one night he decides to go to a bar by himself, and he comes across a character played by Elizabeth Hurley, and she's very, very interested in him, and she's a beautiful woman, and he's just absolutely can't get enough of being around her. But then as the film progresses, you quickly come to realize that she is in fact the devil, and she is there in order to make a deal with him for his soul. He'll get 5 wishes, I believe it is, and he'll be able to remake his life in any way possible. And over the period of time, she convinces him, because he has been so lonely, and she plays up on the fact that he has this woman that he's very, very much in lust with, if not infatuated with and in love with, and she convinces him that if he uses these wishes, that he'll be able to have her in his life. And I will say this right off the hop, I thought that the actress who played the love interest did a very, very good job, because I thought it was great, because she seemed like somebody who was absolutely stunning. I mean, if she entered a room that you and I were into, you'd admit, right? But at the same time, as far as Hollywood goes, she's a little bit more on the plain side, and so she wasn't this like over the top gorgeous woman, like if it was like Jessica Alba type, right, that you'd be like, okay, I mean, he could be infatuated with her all he wants, but there's no believability there based on the character that we've seen. Like, he would have to have some kind of realistic point of view at least, but that's not there. Like, she is absolutely somebody who would be the dream woman of almost everybody in the world, but when put on screen alongside especially somebody like Elizabeth Hurley, she's not so like mind-bogglingly gorgeous that you believe that he could possibly contemplate the idea of winning her over. And throughout the rest of the film, Brendan Fraser makes a series of wishes, all of which you find out from the first wish on, the devil is able to twist in a way to make it so that he's so unhappy that he has to have it undone so that he can make another wish in order to get closer to that series. And each of them are pretty hilarious. Like the first one that I always think of is there's a one where he decides he wants to be absolutely mind-bogglingly rich, and in order to do that, she turns him into essentially a drug lord, and he's there, and I believe he's supposed to be Colombian, and he's speaking another language, and he feels such vast authority, and he has such great means, and he's absolutely excited, and in this sequence he is married to the girl of his dreams. But then as that wish goes forward, he quickly finds out that she's in fact in love with one of the people that works for him, and she leaves him. But then he's like, okay, he's gonna keep going, because at least he's still rich. And then all of a sudden his compound gets raided by the police, and he has to get his way out of it. And there's this scenario where he has a beeper, essentially, where you can push buttons so that he can get out of each dreams without having to wish it away. So and then he has another wish where he wants to be like immensely famous and worshipped, and somebody like the woman of his dreams would absolutely want to be with, because of his social value and the way that people see him as a good person. But so she turns him into a basketball star, and it turns out that he's an absolute moron. And at first you think that that's what the problem is, and he's talking to people, and he's not able to be very eloquent, and he can't express himself very well. And she shows up as a reporter, and that's another part of this film that I thought was very, very well done, where basically each time she has a different role within that fantasy world, as do a series of people that he thought were his friends, that was really well done. And so she shows up as a reporter, and she's interviewing him, and she's still very, very interested, despite the fact that he is so dumb, because he's a huge guy, and you could tell she's very fascinated about the possible physical correlation that might have in the bedroom, and because he is so famous. But then he drops his towel, and it turns out that he is not well endowed at all, and his reaction when he sees him, he's like, oh, come on, it's absolutely hysterical. And then so he gets out of that dream, and then there's another one where he basically he wants to be the just absolutely somebody that everybody knows and all that, and it turns out he's Lincoln and he's about to be shot. And then he wants to be just the smartest man in the world and be able to teach everybody and have social power based on his vast intelligence. And he gets put in that scene, and again she's absolutely interested in him, and then it turns out he's gay. So that one goes around. But the one that was absolutely my favorite, I said earlier the Columbia one always comes to mind first, but the one that I think is absolutely hysterical is there's one where he decides that he wants to be like absolutely sensitive to a woman's needs, and he wants to be the most sensitive person out there, so he can be very empathic and lure her in, basically being able to relate to her and understand her. And you go to that scene, and he is absolutely doing that at the beginning. He takes her on a picnic, and she's very into him, but then he is so sensitive to everything around him that it turns into a complete turn off. Like, he's looking at the sun, and every time he looks at the sun setting, he starts to cry, and he sings her this overly emotive song, and turns her off left and right. And it was just absolutely hysterical the way he played it. Like, every time where he'd be in the middle of a sentence and look at the sun and start crying, just absolutely kills me. I think this film is very, very well told and a lot of fun, and Elizabeth Hurley as the devil is great. I mean, she is 100% somebody that you could see being absolutely enthralled with, because absolutely, just such an exquisite beauty, but also because she does have a charm to her throughout most of this film, where she is trying to bring him in, which absolutely makes sense for the devil as we know it. And then, like I said earlier, there are a couple of his friends that are also in all these sequences, and there's two of them in particular that I absolutely love. Orlando Jordan, who as an actor I will always think of as being from the early days of Mad TV, is in this and is absolutely hysterical, and he's in a lot of scenes with an actor by the name of Toby Huss, and the two of them just absolutely kill me together. I think they're just a lot of fun to see them on screen, and they're very, very entertaining. And overall, this film is very, very entertaining. I enjoy it a great deal. I've rewatched this movie many times over the years because I think it is such a fun flick, and those are my thoughts on Bedazzled. So let me know in the comment section below what you think, if you've seen this movie, if you have, which was your favorite of his wishes, and how you liked the story as a whole. What your thoughts are. And beyond that, please hit that like button, hit that share button. It makes it much more likely that other people will come and check this video out and let me know what they think, which would be absolutely fantastic, because I love talking to people about films. And if you are one of those people who are new here, you just haven't done it yet, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you can find out when I put out another one of these videos. Come check it out. Besides that, have yourself a good day.